"You're 35 and still useless," my mom typed in the family WhatsApp group. My brother added, "She can't even keep a real job." Then my cousin sent one message, "Check the CCTV from last night. My name is Danielle Harper, and I'm 35 years old. I work nights as an assistant manager at a small grocery store. It's not glamorous, it doesn't impress anyone at holiday dinners, but it pays my rent, and I answer to no one. In my family, I've always been the quiet one. Not the achiever, not the favorite. Just the background noise that everyone tuned out until they needed someone to blame. My younger brother runs part of my mom's catering business, and in her eyes, that makes him golden. I've never chased flashy titles or rich husbands, and my family has never forgiven me for it. If something went wrong, somehow the story always found its way back to me. But here's what they never counted on. I've spent years learning how to observe, document, and protect myself. Because growing up in that house, you had no other choice. If you've ever been called useless just because your path looked different from what your family expected, hit that subscribe button right now. Tell me in the comments, were you ever compared to the favorite? Click hype or like this video if you've had to quietly prove people wrong, because that's exactly what this story is about. Let's get into it. It started on a Sunday morning. The kind of quiet morning where you're still holding your coffee and thinking the day might be peaceful. Then my phone buzzed. Then it buzzed again. Then it wouldn't stop. My mom had typed into the family WhatsApp group, "I let Danielle help at the event last night and now $800 is missing." I felt my stomach drop. I stared at the screen. My brother didn't even wait a second before he wrote, "We all know she's bad with responsibility." I typed back fast. "I didn't touch any money. I left early. Ask anyone who was there." My mom's reply came quickly. "Stop lying. You've always been unreliable." The shocked emojis started rolling in from aunts, cousins, relatives I barely spoke to. Someone dug up a mistake I made 7 years ago. Someone else wrote, "Doesn't surprise me." I sat on my couch in my quiet apartment reading every message, and the humiliation was almost physical. It pressed down on my chest like something heavy. Then my cousin Ava typed one line into the group. "Before you all decide, maybe check the security camera from the kitchen." The group went still. My mom replied, "There's nothing to check." Ava wrote back, "Actually, there is." My mom announced in the group the next day that I was no longer welcome to assist at family events. My brother wrote, "It's for the best," like he was doing the family a favor. I was quietly removed from the catering schedule. No phone call, no conversation, just gone. Then came Sunday dinner. I showed up because I refused to hide. My mom repeated the accusation in front of a table full of relatives, her voice calm and certain, like the verdict had already been delivered. "Some people just don't grow up," she said. My aunt looked down at her plate. I sat there with a straight back and a burning face, and I didn't say a word. That night, my brother sent me a private message. "If you just admit it, Mom might forgive you." I read it twice. I wrote back, "I won't confess to something I didn't do." He didn't reply. The family took my silence as guilt. Let them, I thought. I had already started gathering what I knew. What my family never understood about me is that my job taught me something valuable. Working nights in a grocery store means you notice things other people miss. You watch, you wait, you document. When I helped at my mom's catering event that Saturday, I noticed the security camera near the kitchen entrance was unplugged. I didn't think much of it at first, but something made me plug it back in before I left. I checked the timestamp on the camera display. It was working. At 9:42 p.m., I sent Ava a text. I told her I had reconnected the camera and that it had been unplugged, which I thought was strange. She read it immediately and didn't say much at the time, but I knew the footage existed. I knew the camera had auto backup set up on the system because I had noticed the router sticker on the side of the unit. I said nothing in the group. I didn't defend myself further. I wanted them to keep talking. I wanted them to feel completely sure they had won, because the more certain they were, the harder the fall would be. Ava called me 2 days later, and her voice was careful when she spoke. "I saw something weird that night," she said. She told me she had gone back inside to get her jacket after the event ended, and she saw my brother standing near the cash box alone. He hadn't seen her. She backed out quietly and said nothing, but it had been sitting in her mind ever since. Ava does social media marketing on the side, and she knows her way around cloud storage systems. Together, we confirmed that the CCTV footage had automatically backed up to the cloud after I reconnected the unit. The file was timestamped, intact, and untouched. Meanwhile, my mom posted in the family group, "We're handling this internally." My brother was acting relaxed, almost cheerful. He wrote in the group, "There's no footage anyway." The family seemed satisfied. The case, in their minds, was closed. Ava and I looked at each other over a video call and made a decision. We would wait. Grandmother's birthday party was 2 weeks away. The whole family would be there. We would not waste what we had on a text message. The hall smelled like fresh flowers and catered food, the kind of warm, familiar smell that should feel like home. Fairy lights ran along the ceiling. My grandmother sat at the center table, happy and surrounded, completely unaware of what was about to happen. The whole family was there, uncles, cousins, relatives who had watched every message in that group chat and said nothing. My mom stood up to give a small speech. "Despite recent disappointments," she said, glancing toward me, "family always comes first." There was light applause. I let her finish. Then I stood up. My voice was steady. I said, "Can we talk about last Saturday?" My brother laughed a little. "Still pretending?" he said. Ava was already moving. She opened her laptop and connected it to the hall's TV screen. The room got quiet in that strange way rooms do when everyone can feel something is about to change. "Let's all just watch," Ava said. The footage began to play. The timestamp was clear, the kitchen was empty, and then it wasn't. My brother walked in. He stood at the cash box. He counted the bills slowly, looking over his shoulder once. Then he folded the money and slipped it into the inside pocket of his jacket. Someone in the room gasped. Someone else whispered a name. My mom said, barely loud enough to hear, "This can't be real." My brother stood up. "It's edited," he said, and his voice had an edge of panic underneath the confidence. Ava turned the laptop around and showed the metadata, the backup log, the original timestamp, unaltered. My aunt looked at my brother and then at me and said quietly, "So you blamed your sister?" Nobody answered. The room was completely still. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I looked at my mom and spoke clearly. "You called me useless in front of everyone." She didn't respond. I picked up my bag. I said, "I'm done being your scapegoat." And I walked out of that hall with my head straight and my hands calm. Later that night, my mom sent me a private message. "We need to talk." I read it. I set my phone down. I didn't reply. The family group went silent for days afterward. My brother stopped posting entirely. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the one running to explain myself or beg to be believed. I sat in my apartment, the same quiet apartment they had always looked down on, and I felt something settle inside me. They had tried to use public humiliation as a weapon. What they didn't realize was that the truth had been waiting patiently the whole time, and it didn't need me to fight for it. It just needed the right moment to speak for itself. If you've ever been embarrassed in front of your own family for something you didn't do, I want to hear your story in the comments below. Did someone blame you just because you were the easiest target? Subscribe and tell me your experience. Click hype to help this story reach someone out there who really needs to hear it. Did this story hit home? Like the video and share your thoughts below. Your support genuinely makes a difference, and it helps this community grow. Thank you for being here.